Welcome back to Coffee and Creatives. I'm George, and whether you're joining us with a coffee in hand, on a drive, or during a creative block, this podcast is for you, so let's dive in. Why not, before we continue to dive in, you just let everybody know who you are and what you do?
Sure.
And we'll
Right
just
now?
roll. Yeah, we'll just roll.
Okay, we'll just roll. Sounds good.
I just kind of like to keep it.
Yeah, just kind of like
Right,
go
yeah.
as is. Cool. Well, yeah, my name is Colin Maltby, and I currently work at YFC as a sports coordinator. So I help run sports in the city of Woodstock. That's the YFC center I work out of. So my wife and I are on staff there. She runs the drop-in center, and I do sports. And I've been in ministry for a while. This is our first job we've taken really outside of church ministry.
Yeah.
And it's been quite the journey for us. We're really enjoying YFC right now. It's definitely a different pace than doing your church stuff every single Sunday and every single Wednesday for youth or Friday for youth or your Thursday night rehearsals. Don't have really any of that right. So it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a good weird though for us right now. It's like, oh,
what was that change like going from a ministry perspective? For how many years would it have been you guys were in ministry together?
oh man,
It's like
20,
as long as I've known
20.
you.
Yeah, I would say like 2016 to pretty much this year. So like almost 10 years.
And what was that? What's the first year out of it been like?
A change of pace. Like I don't know how else to kind of explain it.
Oh,
Like
that's a
it's
good way to
literally been
describe
like
it.
it's like a complete change of pace. It's
Yeah.
like going from driving a car to like riding your bike around, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna get to my destination eventually, but it's like very slowed down. YFC is really cool, and I really am enjoying the job. I'm just still adjusting to like the change of pace, right? Because it's like churches, with the way a lot of churches are built nowadays, it's just rapid fire. We got to get stuff done, and YFC has things to do, but there's a lot more space in between.
Yeah.
So it's
What is
awesome.
it? What did it look like? Kind of like the creativity difference of being in ministry as opposed to, I guess, still being in ministry but not in a church.
Yeah, very much. We're still in ministry. I guess that's a good way to say it. We are very much still in ministry. We're just trying to get people from the community to go to church, and instead of being in the church trying to get people from the community to come in, we're just like pushing people from the community to try to get to church. Through relationship and encouraging them to do that as we can. But like the creative side between working at a place like a parachurch ministry versus like an actual church. I would say it may depend on the church you work at, because some churches, bigger churches, you can't just make a decision like that and make a creative decision and it just happen on.
It just happens.
Right. It just happens on a Sunday. Like you make the decision on a Friday, happens on a Sunday. Some churches are really stingent on that. But with YFC, I feel like there's a lot of room for creativity. Like just, hey, we want to try this in our program tonight. Go for it. There's not many hoops to get through when it comes to being creative in our ministries. Like for sports, I kind of have free reign to do whatever I want with coaching and stuff like that. And same thing with Eden at the drop-in center. Like for the most part, like if she wants to try something at the drop-in center, she's pretty much free to do so.
There's not kind of that. And I feel that very much when I was working at a youth center as well. And I shifted like from church to a youth center. It's almost like you have to take a step back because you like remember you go to like get permission for something, and they're kind of like, why are you at, like, just do it. Like anything you can do to reach youth, just do it. And that was like, for me, was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. It's a little different in a church. You're representing something a little differently as a church community, as opposed to kind of just like a youth center, right? You're kind of representing everybody in the community.
Totally.
How does rest play a part in kind of your creative process and the way that you direct how you be creative in your job?
Yeah, that's really good. So I guess just for context, like I'm still leading worship. I'm still writing songs. We're still doing stuff with Revival and the Revival Collective and all that stuff. So now that I have more time to do that because worship isn't like what I get paid to do necessarily anymore. I'm finding myself more rested now because in my YFC schedule, having the space to be able to, work my 40 hours to go home.
Yeah.
There's not like a lot of like extra hours.
Yeah.
So I feel more rested probably now than I've ever been in the creative process. And in return, I'm now like more amped to write music and to play, and lead again.
Yeah.
Cause we took some time off after we, I think it's healthy to do that. Like we didn't want to just, stop, pastoring at a church and then like jump into like, leading worship at our next church, like right away. Like we took like, it was like August till January just to kind of be in the church and just get to know some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to rest, I've never felt personally more rested than right now.
Yeah.
Which is then translated into having like the passion and like the dedication to go and start writing again and recording and doing all those things.
Yeah. I feel like you're in a different boat when you're getting paid to do something as opposed to I'm not getting paid to do this. Almost sometimes like you just feel a little more drawn to doing it when you're not necessarily always doing it for the paycheck. And there's nothing wrong with doing anything creative or worship or anything like that for the paycheck, but there's just some different element that you tend to bring to it and more of a passion.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I stepped away from ministry and was not working in the church, I got even like more passionate about what I was doing in my serving capacity in church to where I am serving now. Was there a moment that you had that kind of you realized that you weren't getting rest and it was affecting your creativity beforehand? So let's take a step back to like when you were still in church ministry.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, yeah, like I've worked for a few different churches, right? So, I can pinpoint seasons in kind of every church where maybe I was like just, going hard, making sure, I think like for creatives like Christmas and Easter, right? Like, you're going to be working overtime, right?
So those be working to the bone.
Because it's Christmas and Easter.
Yeah,
we know this.
Yeah.
We know
two
this.
most important times of the year in the church.
It's a Super Bowl times 2, right? Like,
exactly.
So, during those seasons, I'd be mindful of like, okay, like for sure, note in my head, Christmas and Easter's coming up. Be gracious with how much I am songwriting. Maybe I choose to not songwrite so much in that season. Like there'll be kind of like time gaps for my creativity and creative process because I'm putting more of my focus into like what's going on at the church. Yeah. I think the hard part is like when you don't adjust in your season you're in, right? Like Christmas and Easter is a season. Yeah. Just it's a part of the calendar. Yeah. And so from November to December, I wasn't doing much extra creative personal things. So like revival, for example, we wouldn't do really any retreats after November. Or sorry, like as soon as November 1st hits, we're pretty much not being able to be booked until mid-Jan. Yeah. So those are kind of things that I'd have to do to ensure, because there were seasons, and this is my own mistake. This is no one else's fault. It's just me saying yes because I have a heart for like wanting to serve people, and then realizing, man, I totally overbooked myself, right? And so time management has been a good lesson to learn. I think if we actually learn how to time manage, then we can actually put rest in our schedule, right? And actually do time block it out and be like, no, today's a rest day. I'm not gonna.
And what does a rest day look like for you? Because I know for me, it's incredibly hard unless I'm probably in the last year, unless I am sick, I cannot rest. Like I find that if I have a day, I like set it aside. I don't book anything, but I always find myself doing something.
Yeah, no, that's good. So rest for me outside of sleep, obviously.
The most important.
The most important thing, right, is like for me it'd be like taking time, reading his word, listening to worship music, being physically active, maybe not like full send hockey game or basketball. Yeah. Although that's like a part of me that's like on my Sabbath, I'd love to go just shoot hoops even just by myself for like a little bit just to kind of like decompress. Maybe just like watching a movie or show with Eden at night. Yeah, cause like really like low key stuff that just brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
And like, just trying not to like get tied too much into like doing stuff for YFC or doing stuff for Revival, because that all can like kind of eventually you're just like, now you're like in work mode. So trying to stay out of work mode for me is really hard. I feel like we're very similar. And in certain seasons it's been like, oh man, when have I actually taken a Sabbath? Like actually rested.
I thought about that often.
Right. And you're just like, man, this isn't like a, like in the word, like it's not a suggestion, it's a commandment. Like it's a command to like,
you need to do this.
You need to do this. It's important you do this. And so, so it's one of those things for me that I'm like, man, I've gotten way better at it. And Eden would attest to that. Like I would say I was definitely a workaholic. And I've slowly dialed back over the years, which has been good. But now I'm at a place where I'm definitely healthier, but still room for improvement.
I feel like there's always going to be room for improvement where you can do better at things, and I think that'll come with time. But I think also setting like daily what was the word I was just gonna say? Completely blanked. What's the word? Daily habits. That's what I was looking for. Setting daily habits can be a huge part to ensuring rest. And for me, I found that setting daily habits helped with avoiding burnout. Do you have a time in ministry or a time where you reached burnout or hit burnout? What was that like?
I would say, like after my mom passed, I was in ministry and I didn't want to deal with that. And so I threw myself into more ministry. And I said yes to more opportunities. I remember my mom passed on December 20th and I showed up for Christmas Eve service to play, because I'm like, no, I need to be here because I don't want to be at home. I don't want to face what just happened. And so I remember in that season for me, that was like major burnout. Like just because of the season I was in. And then because of that, it took me a lot longer to kind of, go through that grieving process and everything. So that was definitely one of those seasons where I was like I don't even know how I really did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we just did a worship night with like a revival night, like 3 days ago, whatever. And I got home from it and I like woke up the next day. I'm like, man, I'm tired from that. How did I used to do that once a month? Right? Like back in the day when I was working and that was a part of my job, I was like, man, and I would throw myself into that stuff. I'd be, I would leave I remember this. I'd leave for work 8:30 and I wouldn't get home till 11 p.m. But like, I want to make that clear. That was on my own choice, my own, like, and people were telling me at work, like, hey dude, like, you gonna go home? Like, hey, why are you here tonight? Like, do you got something going on? And I'd be like, nope, I got stuff I want to do. And I would just throw myself into it. And so that goes back to time management.
I feel like when I first experienced my first year of ministry, I think the reason why I was able to do a better job than I would say most people when it comes to managing life and work balance in ministry and in a church is because I unfortunately had a really bad experience of which we've talked about, to where like the level of their expectancy to me was beyond what it should be. And to me, that was like a red flag of like, this can't be healthy for me, especially in a new marriage, trying to maintain that, living in a new place with no family or friends around. And then also where I have a job that shouldn't be, but is drawing me there all the time. Like I would be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday night, Friday night, half the day Saturday, all day Sunday. Like, so like, one day at home.
One day at home.
And then half a day at home. And, so that was like a big part for me. And for me, there was like a point of where that burnout became like an internal failure, where like I felt it as a failure, even though it wasn't. why do you think it is that kind of as creatives we always feel like when we hit a burnout point it feels like it's a failure, but really it's more you reaching a max of knowing your capacity?
It's a good question. I would say from what I've seen, it feels like a failure because if you burn out, you're not outputting as a creative, right? Or maybe not outputting to the capacity you could.
Right.
And you know that you could. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying a bit earlier. Like sometimes there's certain seasons for certain things. And like, for example, this is just like a small example.
Yep.
Like I know when I lead worship, I can lead without an iPad in front of me. And I could lead memorized, right? Like memorizing the chords and all that stuff. And there's been a couple times in my life where life has been crazy and things have happened and family stuff has come up or whatever the case may be. Life happens.
Yep.
And I lead a Sunday with an iPad in front of me because that's the best I could have given the circumstances in that little season I was in. Right. And I think what God cares about most is that we give him our best. And I sometimes we think our best is always going to be like this A+ thing where it's like, oh, Colin leading without an iPad on a Sunday is his best, right?
Yeah.
But there's been seasons where I'm like, no, I have to leave with an iPad in front of me today just because life happened, right? And so with burnout, what ends up happening is we feel like a failure because like imagine if I went up on a Sunday with an iPad and be like, I feel like a failure today.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case at all. It's just I had a crazy week and had some things pop up in my life and I didn't get the usual opportunity I get to sit and really memorize the songs.
Yeah.
You know, I know the songs, like I've been listening to them for the past couple of weeks. Like you're always listening to the songs, but to actually know the songs and musically play them through, memorize them, right? And so I think it often feels like a failure because we tend to say, if I don't hit this, then I failed.
Yeah.
And I think we just got to give ourselves more grace, right?
Yeah,
especially in seasons of burnout.
Yeah.
Right? Like for sure.
And I'm going to kind of go back to what you mentioned about like the difference of creating when in ministry, when you have so many components moving at the same time and you're actively worship on Sundays, you got worship on Wednesdays, Fridays, multiple times.
Sure.
And then shifting into where you have more time to complete and to create, being with Youth for Christ. How does creating from pressure differ from creating from peace? Kind of like taking that pressure element of being in ministry and not necessarily pressure of what you're doing, but just pressure of the hustle and bustle to creating in a sense of peace, of like just a slower season of life to where you can take more time to do things.
I think, okay, well, if I was to give an artist like 12 hours to paint me a masterpiece and make it this big thing where it's like, I want all these things in it and I'm going to give you 12 hours to do it, they might have a panic attack and be like, I don't know if I could do this. And, they'll give it to me and they'll say, hey, this is what it is. And it is what it is. You're like, okay, this is the masterpiece that was made in 12 hours. But if I was to give someone like 3 months to make a masterpiece, you would expect that person would do a phenomenal job because they had the time and the space to really like sit and mull over it, right? Whether it's songwriting or whether it's like whatever you're doing as a creative, right? Hey, I really want this great recap video. I need it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna use AI and I'm just like, you're gonna do whatever you have to do to make it happen, right? Versus like, hey, can I get you that recap video in a week? It'll be a lot better if you just give me a little more time. And so I think that with being a creative, you also need to give yourself grace based on the expectation, right? And like if you have a harsh deadline, like, you know, you're probably gonna be thinking in the back of your mind, oh man, this could have been so much better if I just had 3 more weeks. And maybe it could have, but to sit there and go, you know what, God, this is the best I could have given you with the time I was given. and being okay with that. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, for us in our team with Revival, it's not like, it's like, I need a song written by next week, pronto. You know, we have goals and we have stuff like that for sure, but it's like very loose and like, you know, we want to write music, but it's not like I'm like, write a song for me tomorrow, or we need to have an album by next month. Like it's, you know, and so I've taken that pressure off me. And so the difference in my writing seasons, you know, when I was in church ministry versus now in YFC, like, because I'm not doing it in YFC, like my job is not to do anything musical in YFC. I just feel like I'm so much more like there in terms of songwriting.
You get a little more excited.
You get a little more excited about it, right? I haven't picked up my guitar all week, right? Meanwhile, before I was touching my guitar like, you know, almost every day doing stuff or figuring stuff out, right? So there is that kind of push and pull. But I want to encourage people, like if they're a creative and they're given 2 days to do something really creative, like you know, just do the best with what time you have. And then when you're given something, you know, 2 months out, 3 months out, don't wait till last minute and really put some thought and prayer into it and like see what happens.
As creatives, I feel like the reason why we go to that side of, oh, I could have done better, is just because all creatives, like, you're your worst critic.
Oh, totally.
There's so many times that I deliver a video or a film or a project, and I'm like, oh man, like I had time. I had lots of time, but I'm like, oh, I could have done this better. And I deliver it, then I watch it back and I'm like, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that better, which can be good when you do it in a healthy way and it's not, oh, that project now wasn't any good because of what I could have changed. It should be, okay, this is what I can do on the next one better.
Exactly.
And you're bringing it to the next project instead of letting it sit on something else.
Totally.
Let's kind of do a little bit of a shift kind of into church culture and kind of the shift that we've seen in terms of creativity.
Oh yeah, big shifts.
Because obviously, a lot has changed in the last 5 to 10 years.
Craziness.
What's something? What's like a big piece that you've kind of seen like across the church creatives? Let's talk like worship. It's kind of been our flow today. That you've really seen across the board of just like a shift in the creative culture.
It's a great question. I would say the two things I'd say the most, like I've seen the most, one when it comes to maybe Sunday mornings and worship ministry, like in a typical church setting, is like we're constantly playing the newest songs. Like as soon as the song's fresh off, we want to play it.
You're playing it every Sunday for the next 5 Sundays.
Exactly. Also, this is just a side note. This is not my second point, but like there's not a lot of fast songs. Like there used to be fast songs on like a lot of albums.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
that is
like you listen to a worship album and it's like one, maybe two fast. And then the next 10 are like all slow.
That's like with, I don't know if you listen to another little segue, but Hillsong's new, like all their recent songs they've been releasing.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And just a note on that is there is something we were in, Hadley and I and friends of ours were in Australia last August when they were preparing for the release of these songs.
Very cool.
So we actually got to experience listening to some of these songs like at their main campus in Sydney before they were even released. And then listening to it released was kind of like a goosebumps. Like it literally gave me goosebumps in the moment more because like you saw the impact. Because I think so many times like these songs get released and then you like see the impact in your church from like what's been written from a church on the other side of the world. And you're like, this is so crazy how God can move like that. But when you experience the release of it in person where it was written, and then you get to experience it like back home or in that place again, is just like,
that's super cool.
It's such an unreal feeling of just like, it's so crazy to see the power of like what a song can be when it's just like a team of people get together and write.
That's awesome. That's super cool.
It was super cool. And they just released Good News, the most recent one.
And that's a bit more upbeat. I think.
A little more upbeat, but I thought it was like perfect. Not too fast, not too slow, but it was
it's a good like middle song. It's good to go from fast to that song almost, right?
It's such a good song. And I've been seeing like in a culture change of like people are introduced, like I mean, typically it used to be you do your fast song and then you kind of go into your slow songs, but I'm seeing a shift. I don't know if you're noticing this too, but in where they're almost starting with a slow song and then they're weaving it in, slowly bringing the tempo up and then going into a fast song.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a good point of like asking your congregation, like, hey, are you here, hands up, like first 5 seconds of worship, ready to dive in? It's almost like a test.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like it a little bit when we play it or something.
Yeah,
but it's so cool to see like your church congregation just like fully all out, not to a song that's typically gained to kind of get you hyped up.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I've seen that shift for sure. People starting even just with like a chorus of like, how great is our God, right?
Yeah.
And then going into a fast song out of like the chorus of that. I've seen that a lot too, for sure. But yeah, I would definitely say, just back to the original question of like, what are some major things you've seen change in like worship culture ministry? I would just say like, just not enough fast songs, and moving on from songs too fast. Like I remember like back in the day, I used to have like 30 songs I could choose from. And these are the 30 songs we're singing this year.
Yep.
And if we wanted to like introduce a new song, we would use it as like response and maybe even test out the chorus and bridge and see if it kind of sticks with the congregation before bringing it in.
Right.
But nowadays I just feel like we're like, our world's just moving so fast. AI is fast, Instagram's fast, like everything's fast. Like Amazon, you order something, it's at your door the next day. Like, and so I think, the hard part is that culture of just having everything so fast, it kind of comes into our worship culture as well, where it's like, okay, well, this song's good. And like, after like, whatever, like Goodbye Yesterday comes out and it's an awesome song. And then like a year-ish into the song being around, everyone's like, okay, well, that's over. I'm like, man, I listened to Take It All for like 5 years, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it almost seems like it's just like it's the recent ones. Like I feel like 90s and 2000 worships, like you listen to them every Sunday, and they still to this day are like such a good song.
Like I've listened to Live in Miami since 2012 when it came out, and I still listen to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like I just think that's something that like, what would benefit a lot of churches is them actually just sticking to songs that their congregation actually knows. And people always wonder, why is engagement so low? It's like, well, maybe you're teaching them a new song like every week. Yeah. And they can't engage because they're just trying to learn. They're just like, how do I sing this song? And like when you're in church world all the time and you're on staff, like you're listening to the worship music, whether it's your job to, or whether you just want to like listen to worship music. So like, the newest Elevation song, the newest Hillsong, EP that comes out and all those things. But like your average person that goes to church, unfortunately, doesn't know when Hillsong releases a new EP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
like,
not actively watching that.
Yeah, like we are, but like most people, right, like would have no idea, right? So there's that. And then I would say the other part is, for songwriting in churches, for churches that do songwriting, I see there being like definitely a pressure to constantly output, right? Because everyone like, I think there's always a church that people kind of like, they're like, oh, we want to be like Hillsong. We want to be like Elevation. We want to be like Bethel. We want to be like whatever. They implement Red Rocks. Like you can go on. There's so many bands nowadays. Which is such a blessing, by the way. Like it used to be back in the day, like 2 bands, and now
you have Hillsong and Jesus Culture.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly. But nowadays, with there being so many more bands and options, which is fantastic, there's also that inward pressure of like, oh man, well, we got to release an album. Oh, we got to release this. We got to release that. We got to make content. We got to have the behind the scenes. We got to have all these things. And those bands that get paid to do what they get to do can do those cool things. Yeah. But like the average people who work a job and just want to songwrite and be like obedient to what God's, doing in their life. Like, I don't know. I just see that in churches too, where it's like, oh man, we got to release an album this year. Oh, we got to release this. We got to release that. It's like, how about you just like, make a game plan, release what comes. Yeah. And like, don't, like, cause then it becomes a pressure environment. Yeah. Like, oh, we have to have a deadline. We got to hit this. We got to hit that.
Cause it's almost like if we release one and then we don't do anything for 6 months or a year, then people are going to be like, oh, well, are you going to release any more? Or
like, is your church going to be honest question. Like, is your church going to be healthier with one single a year or an album a year? Yeah. Because if you do an album a year and it kills your whole creative team and they're miserable and now they're not acting like disciples of Jesus, like in scripture, it's like, how do you know these people follow Jesus because of the way they love each other, and you look at these people and like they look like they hate each other. Right. But we're producing an album a year and we're doing all these things. It's like, well, what culture are we following? Right. Like, so for me, I am like, and this is something that even I'm wrestling with revival, right? With in our songwriting process and all these kind of things. Like, my job at revival is to like pastor my team and like care for them. Right. And I saw that like making an album, our goal, and this is a collective goal that we have, was like, let's make an album. And then it turned into an EP. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just release singles. Whatever's less stress. We still work hard. We still want to do stuff. We still want to songwrite. But like, I just don't want to make it a stressful environment. I want to make it a fun environment. And if making it better is actually doing less.
And there can always be a higher goal. Like, it can be like, hey, we want to release albums. But there's steps to getting to that. I mean, if we think like Hillsong and Elevation, all these bands, they didn't start out by just, oh, we need to release an album every year. It was song by song. And I think a church that I've seen do a really good job of, like, they've been releasing songs, but they're not like actively like, here's a new EP, they're basically just taking their Sunday morning mixes, revamping them, and then just releasing the Sunday morning live version of songs they've been writing. Church in Grimsby.
Lake Mount.
Lake Mount. Just like
like,
fantastic songs that just like,
awesome.
You see the passion, you see their creative team there is just so driven, but they're so driven because they're doing it in such a healthy way, which is such a desire. I mean, we've seen over the last couple of years the amount of damage that not being led the right way, as you said, or your goals not being correct, how damaging that can be to your team, to your pastoral staff. We've seen that with all the different things that have come out about different churches and all these different things. And that all comes from the unhealthy boundaries of like, what are we actually chasing for?
And like just trying to like overproduce. Right? Like that's what I would call like production over people. Like, you're more concerned about your output of what you're putting out than actually caring for the people that you're supposed to be caring for. Right. So, but you know what, like, just another thing, like when it comes to like bigger churches, like Aiden King was in our conference a little while back, and I sat on his songwriting sessions. And one of the questions was like, how, it's funny. It's like one of the questions like, hey, so how do you guys produce an album a year? Right. And maybe this, and I don't know, like the person was asking because they wanted to know, because they wanted to produce an album for their, like, you don't know, like they're just asking like, hey, how do you produce an album in a year? And maybe it's just a genuine question. Like, hey, how do you guys, like, I can't even fathom, how do you guys do that every year? Right. But it was an interesting question, and they asked it, and Aiden's response was really cool. He just said, like, actually, like, there are 4 people that lead at the time. You know, there was 4 people that led Hillsong Worship, and they kind of made all the decisions, and they would have a Dropbox and a deadline, and anyone could write a song at the church, pretty much, like at the college or whatever, and like put it in a Dropbox folder and send it off. And so when it comes to, I think it was the Let There Be Light album. Could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Let There Be Light. There was 60 songs like given. And then it was left up to like, I think it was like Joel, Brooke, Ruben, and Ben Fielding. Those 4 were like in charge of picking the top 12 or the ones that they felt like should be on the album. Right. Another one of my friends, Ryan O'Fay, he's done like stuff with Mav and stuff like that. He's been at like the River Worship Nights or whatever. Right. So I even asked him, I'm like, dude, you even doing stuff with Mav. Like, how do you guys produce? Like, it just seems like every time I listen to a song, you have another one coming out tomorrow or whatever. And he was saying, like, you know, when you have a writing camp of like 30 people and they all write 2 songs.
You have songs before you know it.
Exactly. Next thing you know, you can really be like, oh, these are the next ones that, you know, we want to produce or whatever. Right. So, you know, now me looking inward as my team of 8, right. Who are all, most of them are not in ministry. Most, you know, obviously, one of them is Jared, you know, he's at GT right now doing creative pastor, but everybody else in our team, like, they all got jobs
outside of that,
outside that's not in ministry. So they're just also doing this as a passion project. And so having grace with that, being like, you know what, we're not paying these guys to songwrite. So we'll songwrite as we can, we'll release as we can, and we'll break bread and pray for each other in the in-between. Right. Like,
I think that's the most important of everything, is the heart from where everything is coming from. And I think that's where you're going to yield and you're going to see fruit from it. And you're going to see it impact people and reach people, is not because you're kind of like, it's almost like getting confused with, is outputting songs, is that excellence, or is our heart posture and what we're doing as a team and being held as a team, is that the measure of excellence? Because I would say that by far is a much higher level of excellence when you have a healthy team that is outputting minimal, as opposed to an unhealthy team that's just putting stuff out like crazy.
No, totally. And like I could see that with my team, where it's like, if we were to make an album, and actually it might end the band, right? Like, I'm like, I don't want to do
like,
that.
Is this gonna be too much on everybody?
It's gonna be too much. It's gonna cause frustrations. And I'm like, I care about these people way too much to frustrate them.
Yeah.
You know, and if it happens one day, great. And if it never happens, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think there has to be that understanding of knowing what, like, not like letting yourself be broken because you don't maybe hit something certain or something specific, like, oh, this is my goal. Yeah. And if I don't hit it, like, then what was all of this for? Yeah. And I think it comes back to kind of like the point of when, even like on Sunday mornings when it comes to worship, like there's a lot of times where I'm like serving on team and I'll be like, hey, like, even if this impacts one person, totally worth it. Dude. Like, even if one person is impacted, one person puts their hand up, like not even if, like, not even to say necessarily one person has to be saved, but just for one person to just encounter God in a way that they've never done before, makes everything that you've done worth it. And I think sometimes we just kind of like need to remind ourselves of that importance. Yeah. And also bringing just like hearts to it as well, that when your team is up there and you look up, you look at people who are worshiping themselves. Totally. Like, not themselves, but they're worshiping. Yeah. And they're not just up there playing for the sake of playing, but they're playing because they're actually worshiping God and they're actually like in a time. Man, you can tell when a team on stage is not unified. Oh, yep. Right? Like, you can tell when there's beef. Real. Yeah, you can tell when everybody's upset and totally. Like, and that's like genuinely, like, that's why I love my team. Like, we've done a lot of life together. We've been through a lot of ups and downs. Yeah. You know, and like, I just know, like, when I'm playing with Revival, it's like these guys got my back and I got their back. Yeah. You know, and like, it's really special because it can be hard to find stuff like that. Yeah. It's hard to find good people in general. Yeah. But to find people that are like seeking the Lord, humble, willing to just kind of serve people, whatever, to like whatever it takes. Right. Yeah. It's kind of becoming that unified one of like sharing life together. And I kind of noticed this recently. We did a worship night. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago. I was playing electric and we were doing a new song, Thank God I'm Free, by by Lizzie and Rhythm. Elevation Rhythm, right? Elevation Rhythm. Fantastic song. Yeah, fun. Relatively complex musically, I would say. Yeah. Like, it's not an easy one. It's Elevation Rhythm. Yeah. Expected a little complication. And we, during the rehearsal the night before, we were like, ugh, are we even going to play this? Like, sure. We're like, okay. And it's just like everybody was like going through like different weeks. Everybody had different hard weeks. And then even when we were rehearsing like the night of, we were still like, okay, we got it, but it's not quite like, we'll see how it goes. And man, it was so powerful. That's awesome. There was just something about everything came together. And I think it was a moment of everybody being like, well, we're just going to give this to God and we're just going to let him have control. That's awesome. Of what's going to happen in this song. And man, it was crazy. Like, just so incredible. That night was just like so fantastic, but all because I think a lot of us just laid down and just said, yeah, God, you take it. It's not in our hands. We're going to give our best. We're going to bring you everything that we can bring. Yeah. And you took it from there, which is always fantastic to see in a team. Yeah, absolutely. Love that. Man, this has been an incredible conversation. Oh man, I love this stuff. Before we finish things out, I have 10 rapid fire questions that I ask at the end of every episode. Okay. Some of them are related to creativity. Some are not related whatsoever. Okay. What's your go-to coffee order? Decaf regular at McDonald's or Tim Hortons or Starbucks, whatever's closest. Whatever's closest to me. Yeah. What's one song you have on repeat right now? Oh, that's so good. A song that I have on repeat.
Right now, I would say it's a throwback, actually, Run to the Father.
Oh, that is a good one. That's a good one. Music or silence while you're working?
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't depend on what you're doing, always music?
Yeah. I just like having something in the background.
I can't have music, which is really annoying. I feel like I love music too much.
That you like want to pay attention to
then
it?
I want to pay attention to it, and then I like hear a line, and then I grab my guitar and I want to play the line, and then I just start messing around, and then I get completely distracted.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show or movie?
Favorite TV show or movie?
Or just like current one you're watching, current TV show or movie.
I don't watch a lot of TV shows.
Only watch a good thing.
I don't. Like I
That's
generally
a good
don't.
thing.
Favorite? I'll pick a favorite movie.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite movie is Pirates.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Johnny Depp, the whole thing.
That's a good one. It's
like any one of them.
fantastic.
The first one was probably the best,
Oh
but
yeah.
just I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah,
It's nostalgic.
it is a great one.
Like definitely, yeah. Pirates or Harry Potter, probably one of the two,
Got it.
but Pirates.
Morning person or night owl?
Ooh, depends on the season. But generally, I usually go more towards night owl.
That's fair. If you can think of one off the top of your head, weirdest habit that you have?
Weirdest habit? Oh, that's a tough one, too. I would say... Okay, so this is a weird habit. I like pick the side of my thumb when I'm thinking. And so if Eden asks me like a really deep question or I'm thinking or like I'm even in the middle of songwriting and I don't know what to do, I start like, it's like a weird tick. I like literally start. Yeah. So both of my thumbs.
Just no skin on the inside.
No, there's not. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's just like
that's fair.
Yeah. It's a weird habit. Eden hates it. I don't even know. I don't even realize I'm doing it sometimes. Yeah.
Sweet or salty snacks?
Oof. Salty, I'd say. I'm a chip guy.
Yeah, same here. What sparks your creativity the most? If you're like in a moment, you're like, I just need a fresh spark. I need a little bit of oomph.
Honestly, when I listen to Hillsong United,
yeah,
and just the way that they like, they it's like their writing's like poetry. It's like worship through poetry. I feel like their writing style is, and so whenever I hear a song, off one of their albums that really I connect with, I'm like, oh man, it'd be just so cool to write a song like that captures that heart or captures that kind of like message behind it, right? So whenever I'm looking for inspo, I always end up I eventually all roads lead back to United for me, just because that's what I grew up on and like
that's fair,
So,
create alone or collaborate?
Oh my goodness, I'm a people person, so I like creating with people. I find it more fun. I like having their input. Often I'll have strengths to their weakness and they'll have strengths to my weakness. And so I always like running with people.
That's good. And the last one, which is not related to creative in any way whatsoever. I guess it could maybe be. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Honestly, teleportation.
Yeah.
If I could teleport places and not have to drive, not have to fly.
Oh, that's
like you think of vacations and the travel.
Right.
So Eden's like, oh, Colin doesn't like going to like, vacations or traveling and all these things. And she's not wrong. But I actually don't mind being on vacation. Like once we get there.
Yeah. It's good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
It's just the in between part.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
Just teleport.
Yeah. Just be there.
Just be there.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you being on the podcast today. It's a fantastic conversation. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it.